I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. I'd like to welcome Echo to the podcast. Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going great. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Well, nice to meet you, everyone. My name is ECHOVTS. I am a mythological creature called an Alebrije, and it's a pleasure to be here with Eric here.
I appreciate you coming on. Listen to that voice, folks. That is some smooth voice there.
Thank you.
Have you been using that for a lot of things before becoming a VTuber?
Believe it or not, yes. So I used to do some, small projects for voice acting as a hobby, first and foremost. I would love it to be as a career path, but at that time, I just didn't have the right tools, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of people now doing it from home, so you should be able to pick that up. I mean, that's not I'm sure if you send out a tape, someone's going to like, yep, that's the perfect one, and throw a couple bucks your way.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, fingers crossed. I'd love to be recognized and be like, wait, this voice sounds familiar. I'm like, yeah, that's me. Hi.
Yeah, and doing some singing too. We're going to be hearing a great version of a song that you did a little bit later on in the interview. But first of all, what got you interested and started in VTubing?
Great question. So it started years ago before like the VTuber boom, sorry.
Right.
That's where during the pandemic, everyone was kind of like hopping on this trend of VTubers. Everyone thought it was really cool. And so everyone was hopping into that. Mm-hmm. I was one of them. Okay. I debuted around, I believe, like 2020. Mm-hmm. So I've been doing this for 6 years, but I've had this planned out way before that. I've been following, her name is Sakura Miko. She is part of the HoloLive group. Yep. She was on her own, which was funny. And then HoloLive asked her to join their group. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, more love to her. So I'm like, right on, girl. So, I thought it was a great idea to do something because I love doing content. But I also like to keep things private for personal reasons, and a horrible experience when I actually was an IRL streamer. So,
okay. There's always seemed to be something in there that'll kind of sour you or something along those lines, and it's different for everybody. So I can certainly see that. I mean, I was in radio for 30 some odd years, and it was horrible enough when somebody recognized me outside the radio station just because of the voice. Like, okay.
That's kind of similar with my situation. I mean, like, fortunately, stalkers are not really a fun experience. So it got me kind of too a little spooked out, and I kind of like retired doing content. But the thing is, I loved it. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I don't want no one to take that away from me if something is something that I enjoy, and I don't really want to screw it up, So I was talking to my friends. I'm like, yeah, man, I wish I was like these like anonymous creators. Like, they don't show their face like Miko. And then I'm like, I am a fucking idiot. Why don't I do that? Why don't I just be an anonymous, VTuber and still do what I like to do? Like, hello? It's right there in front of my face.
Yeah, that thought balloon over your head and the light bulb came on. Huh, okay.
Exactly. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, let's do that. Let's do it to it.
And you pretty much probably already had the equipment there to do a lot of it. If you
yes.
Yeah. So that probably helped.
Without a doubt. Yeah. Yes. I started as a 3D VTuber.
Yike. That's pretty tough to do. Was it easier for you once you kind of got the hang of, seeing yourself on, seeing yourself as the model moving around a little bit? Was it easy for you to relate to?
Yeah, actually. At the beginning, I was kind of just like trying to set like a style that was going to work for me because everyone was doing almost everything, right? We have vampires, we have elves, cats, cows, different types of VTubers. So it's like, well, what the fuck am I going to do, right? And friends were like telling me, well, like, you love cats. Like, why don't you be a cat VTuber? I'm like, yeah, but it's like it's not me, you know, like.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of like deep dived into my culture. I was talking about my culture, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I am Mexican. I was born here in Mexico, raised half my life here, and then my other half of my life was in the United States, and then I went back.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, wait, there's this like little statues that I don't know if you ever seen them, right? And there's these colorful little animal statues with beautiful prints, and you'd see them and people selling them to you, right? They're just for decorations, but they're called alebrijes. Okay. They were very popular back in the day. This is really fun history fact, right? Back in the day, it was created by an artist, where he kind of, in a joking way, he was experimenting, right? He was taking something that was really seeing the colors of everything, and he started creating these statues, and everyone thought it was the most phenomenal thing in the world. And we kind of implemented it into our culture. And I believe in the United States, you guys have one celebration, I think in Chicago, of a panther, a beautiful, colorful panther with different colorful prints. And I was like, oh, why don't I do that? And then like the movie Coco comes out and they kind of implemented alebrijes being these like mysterious mythological creatures that are very powerful and we don't know much about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's it. Because like, I can't stick into one thing. I'm always feeling like I'm outside the box. Right. I'm this colorful little creature that I can be very like chill, but I can be very fucking chaotic if I wanted to be.
It's there. Don't test them. Don't test them.
Exactly. And so the more I was like creating this VTuber, I was like, yeah, no, this is more like me. Like I like this me much more better how I started. Because man, oh man, back in the day, everyone really loved them high pitched voices. And I'm like, yeah, my voice is not high pitched. And I can do it. I can. Oh. It's not hard for me. Being a voice actress, I have a really wide range.
But to talk like this for a really long time and like certain like periods of streaming, you kind of get exhausted.
Yeah, oh yeah.
On continuing that voice constantly, and it kind of sticks with you.
So when I came back, I told my community, like, listen, guys, I don't talk like that. Okay, I'm sorry. My voice is here. And everyone's like, no, yeah, let's go, mommy. And I'm like, okay.
So suddenly you were mommy.
Exactly. I was like, okay, so from cute to mommy, how you doing? Hi.
Well, it's true what you talk about here, because there's a lot of folks have voices that don't necessarily sound mature. They sound, in their 20s or early 30s or something, but your voice definitely hits the mature part, and it sounds smooth and unforced, and no hard edges, anything like that. No. That's something that a lot of people would spend a lot of money to try to get to.
Yes. A lot of people have tried to do the vocal range that I'm in, and I've heard people try to force their voice to talk this low. Oh. And it's very interesting how I can just like pick it up of like you're pushing your voice too hard, because they'll be like kind of like pushing their words out really forcefully. Yeah. And I'm like, you're forcing your voice. And though, you really want to sound sensual, like depending on what content you're trying to do, you're also hurting yourself. Even if you don't feel it, you're hurting your vocal cords, because your cords can't go that low unless you do your vocal practices.
Oh, wait. Well, there's some folks who the vocal cords are bigger than their heads. They can do anything. Like the Mel Blanc, who used to do the Bugs Bunny voices and all those. They showed his vocal cord was huge. I mean, that guy could basically morph it into anything he wanted to at one point.
Exactly.
But I generally think that when you're trying to be a little more calmer and a little more mature sounding, you have to talk from your chest and abdomen more than from your nasal passages, because it just doesn't. It sounds different, but it doesn't project the same.
Yeah.
And
the nasal and the head voice. That's how I was taught. So you have your head voice, You speak with your mind. You're trying to force your voice to sound a certain way.
Yeah.
Then obviously the nasal voice, like nasally voices, where you're kind of trying to breathe a lot through your nose,
Yeah.
trying to sound a particular character or a particular tone. And then you have your chest and abdomen voice.
Yeah.
That's where you're not taking so much air, but you're talking comfortably. For me, it's comfortable now. Like,
Yeah.
but the more uncomfortable is more my head voice.
So when I go up here, I'm talking with my head voice more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't hear that I'm using my chest or my abdomen. But if I have to try, then I have to do what's called mixing, where it's like I go here and then I'll kind of talk right in the middle where it's not too high but not too low.
Right.
So kind of very like a youthful tone that I'm talking like this, and it doesn't hurt my vocal cords very at all.
Right. Right. The one thing you don't want to do is strain or rough it up.
No. Yeah, no.
And maybe you can let out one every once in a while, but you don't want to. You don't want to keep that up, because then once I've seen people do this, and I've done it myself on occasion. Once you sprain something or you strain something, it takes so long for it to heal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's a terrifying thing.
Yeah.
But people in the community, any community, honestly, if you're really using your voice, it's your tool, and you really don't want to overstrain it.
No.
But people can be desperate to sound a particular way for whatever the gain that they want.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. So I got to ask you this because of your voice range. Now, what happens to me if I get like a cold or something, I drop almost an octave.
Yeah.
I get down to here, and I could talk like that all day. So, if you get a cold like that, do you drop even further down?
Yes, I do, actually.
You're gonna be.
I actually do.
You'll be. That's when you record a Barry White song.
Yeah. So, like my friends, my friend Jaffro, he's like a brother to me. He heard me one time, and he's like, "Damn, where's Echo? I wasn't expecting Tyrone in the phone. What's going on? Like, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "Bruh, I'm sick. What do you expect from me?"
I'm sick.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, "Oh yeah, you doing, man? I'm not feeling too good, brother. You know, it hurts."
Something else with that, and of course, I'm going to get to your singing eventually here too. But there are ways you can get your voice up to a certain level. You can probably hit a lot of. And the Joe Average can do this. Jill Average, whoever could do this. But it's got to be usable too.
Yes.
You can't just,
oh yeah, no.
No, you got to be able to form words that make sense and make it sound like it's your actual. That's one problem I have, is making something sound like I actually have that voice and I'm talking in it rather than putting on a voice.
Yes. Like actually having, like, you can try to do a conversation and actually speak in that way. There's one that I don't know. Most people can probably do it. It just takes a little practice. Where I actually have to take out all of my air and start talking, and then it sounds very like the Backrooms voice box kind of scenario.
Oh yeah. That's a neat trick. That's a neat trick.
Yeah.
And there are, if you train on it, you can do a lot of different things with it, and it always helps on that sort of thing. How many projects do you think you've been able to do as a voice actor?
Before I was doing a ton. Let me see. I'm trying to think. It was like back in the day where like comic dubs were very like popular. And a lot of like voice actors that started with comic dubs are now like working at Crunchyroll and Netflix and stuff like that. I would say, like, just to be like on the fair side, maybe like 30 or so like projects I've done. One little fun fact: I actually met Sea-Dog years ago when he actually wanted to be a voice actor. Great guy, super sweet. He just really was tired of doing the Sebastian voice from Black Butler, which was an anime.
Right.
And he wanted to expand his like content on doing something more. And so seeing him now and what he has done, I'm like, good on you, man. I mean, hey, you got out of the Sebastian circle, so there you go.
Yeah, you talk about a golden voice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of them. And not only that, but he's Welsh.
Yes.
And which just multiplies everything and is so unfair.
Man, the many fans that he got for that, and oof, terrifying they were. Yeah. They were very terrifying.
Oh yeah, I bet they were.
Oh my God, yes. I'm like, yeah, I mean, because I was in his server at the time. I left like years ago. I left doing this. I was just kind of like being more on like just critiquing like some improvements that he could have done. Like, oh, I mean, if you just kind of like raised a bit here, I see that you were kind of like losing a lot of air when you talk this way. Mm. But man, when the fans heard me, they're like,
"You don't understand him. Like, we've been here with him since day one. He's been practicing all his life. You don't get it. You're not a true fan."
I'm like, okay, shit. Okay, my bad.
My name is Joe. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I was just trying to help, but okay, all right.
Well, I mean, I'm sure if he heard it, he knew. If he saw it, he knew what you were talking about. And that's the thing is, people who use their voice for that type of thing need to know the little things that somebody, you might be able to get away with it with someone who doesn't have a trained ear for it. Mm-hmm. But like you mentioned, losing a lot of air on a voice, that doesn't help you, because then if you're doing a script or something, you're going to pause in the wrong place.
Exactly. You're going to pause and take an inhale, and obviously that's going to be picked up in the recording. Yeah. Right. And then depending on the director, they'll tell you to cut and try to redo that line again. Because, they don't want to hear that like in between the lines. They want you kind of like say one smooth line straight up.
Yeah. And we did that with our commercials we used to do in radio. We'd get a 60-second commercial. And if you ever had and I'm talking to a voice actor here, but I mean, if you ever have a situation, you have a 60-second commercial, you have a music bed with it that only really allows you to do 56 seconds. Now you've got to shorten it, speed it up a little bit, get into that time, still make it sound somewhat natural, but not over in the middle of it either. I mean, you got to,
exactly.
And it's not, that's why you do like 25 takes of a certain commercial. And sometimes if you're good enough, you get to edit, you can edit it in if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And you can play with it a little bit. Now we used to go through copy and find places where it's okay, if I need to edit, it would be there and there and there, and just redo the line, the one bit of line over and over again. But it's a lot different live. And have you found that out as a VTuber that sometimes doing a live segment is a little bit tougher on your voice?
A bit. Mm-hmm. It actually is. Just because I'm talking first and foremost, right?
Right.
But in my channel, when anyone who does like a donation or subscribes, I have to switch to singing. And most of the time I would pause, right? Because I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and pick a song. But at the same time, I actually mute my microphone, because that means I have to like really quickly just like vocal stems, like practices before I start doing anything. And then I start singing. And depending on how many, right, I'll continue to sing. And then I know for where my limit's at. So I will tell my chat, like, okay, guys, I'm going to pause here. We're going to just keep talking for a little bit, because if I keep going, I'm going to start straining my voice, and my voice will start to kind of sound like fading. So my voice will fade in and out, meaning my vocal cords are tired. They need to rest.
And if you don't rest them, then it'll show up later too. And try to do some next thing.
Meaning like my voice will kind of go away.
So what is your secret when your voice isn't at its best and you maybe have a bit of a sore throat?
Tea.
Tea. Okay. Yeah.
Tea, and I actually take some Altoids. I think that's what they're called. Here we do have them.
Yeah.
So warm tea, warm beverages, nothing cold. Weirdly enough, cold drinks do not help, especially if you're sick. Something for people to know. My grandmother taught me this, rest in peace. You want to drink warm drinks. So even warm water, if you don't have the like water fountain that offers that hot like water, then, warm it up in the stove or in the microwave. But just warm drinks actually help kind of your vocal cords and your throat just to be a little bit more smoother, so you can try to talk a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to like fully recover it, of course, if you're sick, but if you want to maintain to take care of your vocal cords, yes, some warm tea, no coffee,
No,
no coffee,
no,
no orange juice, no milk, no.
You don't want to cover it. That just puts another level on top of it. For me, it was the other way around. I always use something like a slushy. Because when I was going on, the most I'd be on would be like an hour and a half. And I just really needed it to go away for 2 hours. And then I can treat it like I'm normally. So I would take a slushy and it would be like putting ice directly on the heat in the throat.
I see.
And it would take that pain away. And then I could go on and do the talk show, phone calls, talk show, and all that. And then afterwards, it didn't cure it by any stretch of the imagination. But, there's always tips and tricks you can use to get through. Because it's not like, you're going to a 9-to-5 job and you've got a little bit, you twisted your ankle, so you got to limp a little bit. You can't really do that with voice work.
Yes, exactly. That is true.
Talk with a limp. I'm sure I sounded like that on more than one occasion, but if anybody out there can talk with a limp, you'll probably make it big in voice acting.
Very true. So they're looking for those.
You talked about that doll from the Mexican heritage. One thing that I've always enjoyed about seeing Mexican culture and such is the colors that are so that you can't describe them other than from Mexican culture.
Yeah.
I mean, really, there's a lot of these colors that you will only see from something coming from Mexico. I think it's amazing. Yeah. And it's all very. I imagine it's very deep in the cultural history that these particular brighter colors.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, colors are something that we use as any representation of what we're kind of like going through. Like main thing, our flag.
Yeah.
Our flag has like representations of like the meaning of our like unity in our country. Colors from baile folclórico, which are those beautiful dances. You see like with beautiful, colorful dresses, and it kind of is very mesmerizing on how they do this. Anything that I've noticed, right? I've lived in the States before, so I've gotten to see, right, the like completely different contrast on like what color is used from the United States and then here in Mexico.
Yeah.
You guys like it very neutral.
Yeah.
You guys like to keep it like very, I don't like to say basic. It's just very neutral tones.
Yeah.
And you just want to blend in. But if you see someone, I don't know, like in Miami Beach pulling out a neon, bikini, everyone just stares. Like it's something like out of the blue. This is out of the ordinary. But if you do that in Mexico, it's like, oh, that's just another day. Like, hey, that's nice colors. It looks great.
That's Tuesday morning.
Yeah, that's a typical Tuesday for us.
Yeah, and I do love a lot of the music too. I'm in Central Illinois, which doesn't sound like a particularly diverse area, but it actually we do have quite a population that had come from Mexico that had worked up here that stayed after all of the horrible things that they were brought through at the time. So we do have quite a bit, and we have actual radio stations up here that play Mexican style music. And I don't want to, and I want to make sure that when I say that, I'm not throwing all the music together because it's very different.
Yes, there is different types of music in Mexico, and that's completely understandable.
Yeah, don't throw in your norte with your Texano.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah. Mostly not. Here's like, this is really funny. Like people always seem to be worried about what they are going to say, when in reality, if you interview us here in Mexico and like, well, we love your Mexican music, literally they'll say, oh man, thanks, man. We do too. We enjoy it. Like, shoot, you want to come to a party?
Oh, absolutely.
Like no one would get butthurt about it.
Yeah. Well, it, unfortunately, I grew up in a very, very, very white city town.
Yes.
We had over 99.5% white in my town. So any culture that I got that wasn't, meatloaf on Sundays was something different to me, and I enjoyed that. Some people come up from that and don't enjoy it, but they're dumb. I just ignore them. And so, when you came up here for a while, did you notice that Mexican culture was presented differently in the U.S. as opposed to, of course, Mexico?
In certain ways, yeah. I've been in a few different states, like California, Nevada, Texas. I've gotten the opportunity to go a little bit more in the middle of the United States, not for a long periods of time, but I've noticed the more saturated of the culture, it would be more on the south side of the United States, which is great. But there's definitely some culture shocks where the first time I actually did stayed and moved in the States were oh, well, I want some tacos. I'm kind of hungry. So, we go to the supermarket, and it was predominantly a white neighborhood.
Oh, yes.
So when we went to the supermarket, we were kind of my mother and I were just kind of looking at each other and then looking at what they offered. And it was what is this? So wait, we don't eat ground beef.
Yeah.
I mean, in our tacos, we actually do have to get beef, actual steak beef. So seeing ground beef was well, I guess we're gonna have some burgers or a sloppy Joe for dinner.
That's right. And folks, Taco Bell is no.
My mom loves it. I do too, but that's definitely not Mexican food.
It's food-ish. I like it too, but I'm not going to say that it's authentic representation of
no,
culture.
It's not. But it's the thought that counts. It's the thought that counts. It's good, but it's not authentic.
Yeah, that's true. The culture for the Mexican folks in VTubing, have you found a lot of folks in that culture that you've been on?
Actually, a few.
Really?
Which I'm really grateful to have met. One being Xochipilli, which, funny enough, we are kind of in the same universe of what we are, right? I'm a mythological beast in Aztec culture. I call it Mexica culture, but yes, Aztec culture. Xochipilli is a god in the Aztec culture. He's the god of flowers and party and wine.
Yeah.
So it's really ironic of oh my God, we're both kind of in the same circle.
Yes.
And it's really fun that we are both kind of also teaching our community, especially those who don't know about the Aztec culture to them, right? Yeah. So, and it's fun how we both play kind of balance each other. Yes, I know you are I'm the creator. I would say I'm the child of Quetzalcoatl, which is the flying serpent.
Right.
And he doesn't get along with Xochipilli.
No.
But I treat it kind of like my household, the two uncles that, they with all the hatred and deep down they care for each other, they're still blood.
Yeah.
Right. But they're not going to admit it.
That happens everywhere.
Right?
Yes.
So it's they don't get along, but they're still family, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But there's so many other VTubers that obviously they're not going to be in this circle that I do, right?
Right.
But that they're from different parts of Latin America. There's some that I've met from Argentinian VTubers to Nicaragua VTubers, and they're wonderful, and they're just doing the same thing that English speaking VTubers are doing. And it's fun that I also got to join an idol group with them.
Oh, cool.
For a short time period. So yeah, I can put that under my belt that I am also an idol VTuber. I got to be in a concert, which is great.
Oh,
I got to
neat.
debut for a bit.
Yeah.
Live well, not live, but like recording, but it was played live with
Right.
actual audience.
Whoa,
So it was
that must have been cool.
it was phenomenal. I'm like I would love to do it once again. It's really cool. It's something that I'm like I like that. Actually, I wanna keep doing that. I'll put that on the pin on top right there. I'll put that on the bulletin board for me to work on.
Do you think we're missing an audience as far as VTubing goes for a Spanish speaking community?
I feel like yes and no. Well, yeah, actually, I kind of agree. Yeah, we do, because it's like I'm doing it to my extent, but it's really tricky for me, right? Because most of my audience is English speakers,
right?
So I can't really just go live for 4 to 5 hours talking in Spanish when half of them don't understand what I'm saying to them,
right?
And then when I do get I would say maybe 25 to maybe 30% of my viewership being from Latin America, they always will ask me, why am I speaking in English? Right. And I'm like, I completely understand. But like today I have to talk in English because most of my viewership is English speakers and they don't understand Spanish. But I've told in the future that I will have days where I will speak mostly in English and then I'll speak mostly in Spanish in another day of streaming.
Yeah.
But it is definitely something missing because I think in Latin America, they all love anything anime. Like Mexico here, we love fucking anime. It's not like period point. It's like for us, we grew up with Dragon Ball. We grew up with One Piece. We literally went to basically what's called La Municipal, which is where the president lives in Mexico City.
Right.
And we're waving the One Piece flag right at her. Right. So for this is something like if we can put a little bit more of like, hey, they actually do like it, that viewership will come on over. They are interested. They're curious. They want to know.
Yeah.
Right. There's not much content creators, like big content creators that you can think at the top of your head that are like focusing on the Latin American community.
No,
when I ask people like, okay, who's the first Hispanic VTuber that you can think of? Iron Mouse, of course.
Right.
She's predominantly speaking in English. That most of her viewerships are in the US. Right.
Yeah.
So that's great, but we need someone over like, okay, well, think of a Hispanic VTuber who can bring English and Spanish. Can you think of another one? Not at the top of their head.
No, there are some though. I've interviewed a lot of people from Spanish-speaking countries, from Spain itself to to Chile and a few different countries in South America, and of course now Mexico and such. Puerto Rico, a lot of folks from Puerto Rico, and I just wonder if there was some way. I used to listen to shortwave radio all the time, and it was still popular. And they would have broadcasts that would be specifically in one language for folks in other countries. And I just wonder if there was a streaming service or some sort of schedule where, okay, the Spanish speaking will be at this time, whether it would start cultivating an audience to it. And I mean, I watch Japanese streams all the time. I couldn't tell you anything they say. Yeah, I mean, there's just.
But you're engaged.
Yeah,
you're like interested in what they're doing.
That personality is what brings people in.
Exactly.
And I think VTubers are picking that up now. That you can have a great voice, you can play a game that everybody likes, but if you come across like wet cardboard, it's like you could be watching anybody. But
exactly.
I'm sure when you started getting folks coming back to you when you adopted the VTuber persona, how did that make you feel, especially given your earlier problems?
Honestly, relief.
Mm.
Just kind of like, I was just mostly like happy
Mm.
to be back again doing something that I like. And then there's some folks, which is, I honestly would always wanted to kind of like shout out and say like, guys, it's me. I'm this person, who used to do this content.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't really want to risk that. But I've noticed that some who were still like loyal would be like, you sound like someone that we used to like follow.
Yes.
And I have a feeling that it's you, but we're not going to say that it's you. So we're just going to keep supporting you. And I'm just like, oh my God, they found me. Oh, thank God.
That's
I'm like, thank God they found me. Cause it's just like, I did abruptly left.
Yeah.
Right. I did. I didn't do any explanations. I just left, and I get like emails like from my old email account of like how the comments, they're still like, oh, hope you're doing okay wherever you are. I hope everything's all right. We miss you and stuff like that. And I'm like, I miss you guys too, but I can't go back to where I was anymore. I mean, I love where I kind of like growed so much in this community. I've put a lot of effort as much as I can, a lot of my time as much as I can, and made sure like my community is like very, tight niche, but we're always going to be welcoming to anyone who comes in.
Yeah. It's very organic, your growth. It's
Yes.
It's not, you didn't do a whole lot of gimmicky stuff to get things going.
No.
It was, and that's a wonderful thing to have when you know that it was you and your efforts and your talents and your voice and your personality that has really grown the channel. And in the future, you might have to do a couple of things to, get through a plateau or whatever. But this is your world. You built it. You invited everybody in, and they came.
Exactly. That's literally what I've been doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always had a huge, like, maybe like mishaps, but I would always tell like my friends or my community, like, hey, if I am doing something wrong, please tell me, because I do not want to just like keep doing something and no one's telling me.
Yeah.
And then it's going to blow up on my face.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Best example, like, AI.
Oof.
Not a big fan of it with AI art.
Right.
Okay. I didn't, at the beginning, I didn't understand what it was actually doing until someone told me, because when I started doing it, I just got blocked, and I was like, oh, what's going on? And then someone kind enough was like, Echo, if you are generating AI art, you're actually stealing, like the AI stealing other people's art to create that art.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, blocked, delete. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now I understand why.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. And I've told my community, like, hey, don't bring in any more AI art. Do not generate me. Do not generate anything in my community, please. It's not welcomed. Don't do that. Okay.
Yeah.
What we're going to be doing is supporting actual artists working their asses off, going against this.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
and I own up to it. I made a mistake, and I fixed it. Like, I'm not doing that no more. I'm not going to do it again.
Yeah. You owned it, and that's the thing is that type of honesty will ring true with an audience that is there for you.
Yeah.
If you tried to like, well, I couldn't help it because this, that, and the other thing, and they're like, yeah, okay, well, you'll do it again. That's
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and they won't go for it. I mean, it's for me, it's the biggest thing with AI is the voices, because it's just terrible. It's
it's terrifying because it can steal people's voices.
Oh yeah, and use it, and those commercials on YouTube are just some of the most awful things. If you can't, and I'm coming from the radio side, if you can't find somebody to read 30 seconds, you haven't looked, because we'll do it. Our old announcers will do it for a cheese sandwich, and half-used cheese sandwich. At this point, and if we can't spend that much money, then your product sucks automatically. So, yeah, it just.
I told one director who wanted to like hire me, but they're like, "Oh, but Echo, I don't have money." I'm like, "Just give me something to eat.
Yeah.
Pay for my lunch, and then we're good." And they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "I'm being dead ass. Yes, pay for my lunch, and I'll read whatever the lines you wanted me to read. I'll do it.
Yeah,
I don't care.
It's that easy. It's either Radio guys, the M in our media meant mooch. We'll take anything. If it's a shirt that doesn't fit, it's a headband.
There you go.
But it's mine. You can't have it. So have you always been a singer?
All my life.
Well, I would hope so with a voice like that. But we're going to be playing a song here in a second. Tawagoto Speaker, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, Tawagoto Speaker. That's right.
Now, what made you choose this song?
So, I've been in the Vocaloid community for a while. If you know Vocaloid community, best known as for Miss Hatsune Miku, this virtual pop star that is still, making music to this day.
Right.
Been following them since like day one when they made the actual first Vocaloids, and then how it became like it blew up when Miku came out because it was something new. It's something different. People believe that this was like, oh, this is going to be the future, right? Like these, like, they're not AI first and foremost. They're actual voice synthesizers that have permission by voice actors to use their voice to create this character, and you can create your own music. Right. And this is the key part because it is owned by Yamaha and Vocaloid. They're very strict on making sure that like there's ethical like things. There's no AI. The newest engine does have it, but not in the way that people think. And I did make a video about this on my TikTok, so people have this understanding that Vocaloid still have their ethical like path where it's like we're not trying to steal people's art. We are not trying to steal people's voices. We have written consent by the voice actors and singers and pop stars to do this. So use the music as you wish. So this was phenomenal for producers who probably couldn't afford singers, right? Or couldn't find the right singer that they're looking for. Right. But they can make the music, they can write the lyrics, they got the tempo, but they need a voice. So Tawagato Speaker was something that I kind of like resonated because I actually sang this years ago. Oh. Like years ago. So this was something like I did where I was starting to kind of like putting my like singing out there. It was created by Neko Bolo, who is a producer, and it's about the best way I can explain this. Hold on, it's really tricky because it has some darkness into it. So a lot of the Vocaloid songs, even though they sound really happy and peppy, if you actually read the lyrics, it's very depressing. It's very depressing. Yeah. Like Rolling Girl, rest in peace to the producer who created that song. Basically this girl is kind of like trying to attempt to, herself. Right. And so that's why she's saying one more time, until like at the end, obviously there was someone who was helping her like, no, let's not do that. Let's keep going. Right. Like you have to keep going. You have to keep leaving. Right. Yep.
It's interesting to see. Now, did you have to take the lyrics and change them, or did you have to adapt them, or how did you do it?
So I found a artist by the name of Hyurno who did this song, and they made this adaptation version of what it meant in the Japanese lyrics. And I tweaked just certain lines about them, but I asked for their permission, like if I can use your guys' lyrics of it for my video. And I got the green light. I was like, perfect. Okay, now let me just tweak a little bit here and there. But it's mostly them, so I credit them for this. Oh yeah. On that one. But Tawagato Speaker, Tawagato meaning nonsense. So a baloney speaker, a nonsense speaker. Yeah. It's a song that explores about emotional abuse, depression, and coping mechanisms of trauma. Yeah. All right. And I have been through all three. Yeah. I do not hide away in the spotlight with my community or anyone who comes into my content where I speak about my mental health. Right. And I always encourage, because most of my viewership are, male viewership,
right.
that if they need help, it is okay to ask for help.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
it's hard for the men to ask help.
Yeah. I can tell them as a 60-year-old, do it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're just going to be miserable. And it's just not worth being miserable.
It is not.
And making other people miserable while you're doing it. That's even worse. But we're going to play this song right now, and I want folks to listen, because not only does Echo do a great job with it, but you're not going to tell that it wasn't written in Spanish because of how it's performed here. So we're going to go ahead and play that right now. This is Tabragoto's speaker on Eric Loy Interviews.
Muy dentro de mí siento dolor y ya terminará. Mi falso reír se tornará sin más en lágrimas. Y todo el dolor que me tragué lastima, mas no hablaré. No lo notarás, no importa ya, y no me ayudarás. Tus palabras duelen más y me lastiman sin piedad. No sabes lo que siento yo, que pasa en mi corazón. Cuando apague esta luz, ya nunca más se encenderá. No habrá mentiras que ocultar, pues yo me iré. La noche llegó, muy sola estoy. Te vas, no importa ya. ¿Qué pasa con las heridas que nunca más volverán a sanar? Y sonríes otra vez, mas no te puedo perdonar. Por dentro duele mucho más, mi corazón muriendo está. ¿Cómo te puedo decir lo que ocurre dentro en mí? Intento otra vez fingirte y reír. Y yo me iré de aquí, mentí o no. Tus palabras duelen más y ya no puedo perdonar ni a mí mismo esta vez. Pido solo por favor que si te atreves hazlo ya. Para mi vida terminó, no habrá mentiras que ocultar jamás. Si tú me matas ya.
what a tremendous performance of that song, and I'm glad
Thank you.
that we were able to put it on here. One thing I really got me about this, and as I was listening and going on, was the 3/4 time. You don't hear a lot of that these days. It's usually 4/4, but the bump 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 sounds like a waltz almost.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but it does help with the tenor of the song, and it's
Yes.
not out of place whatsoever.
No, not at all. I think that was one of the amazing things that Necobolo did with this tempo, because it the way I see it is that you are kind of implemented in that song on how it's felt, on what's going on around. And people always want to understand what it means. Like, you don't have to understand what it means. Just hear what the tempo is saying, hear how the emotion is said, and you're going to understand it. And mind you, I did the art. I did the art of that video.
Folks, you got to see the video, but we didn't do justice to it. You got to see the video too. We'll have the links to it.
I did the art. So it's kind of like you can put those pieces together of like how, people can speak nonsense and, whether it's in a toxic situation where people can get their feelings diminished, or like how the victim views their own force and fake their happiness to please everyone else around them. Right.
Yeah.
So it's that existential guilt and, suicide as the trauma kind of like compounds, and the singer, the narrator, starts to dissociate more and more and more and making more lies.
Yeah. And it's spiraling circle downwards is what it is.
Exactly. And that tempo is kind of like teaching you that as it's going, you're noticing that it's kind of also spiraling.
Right. And which what you really get with the 3/4 times, dun, 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 yeah. And it can either spiral up or spiral down. And this was just brilliantly done. And the video, I didn't know you did the artwork for it. It's also great. We're going to have all of the links for Echo in the description for this video. And I can tell you, 50 some minutes ain't enough to find out all the talent that this person has. You have to find out yourself, please. Echo, just an absolute wonderful experience talking with you. And
likewise,
I think that everything should be pointing up for you, whatever you want to do here. You fought yourself through a lot of things, and you have been one of those triumphs I talk about, where people aren't the result of their circumstances, but they're the triumph that emerges from those circumstances. And I think you definitely qualify as that triumph. So thank you so much for coming on. Please do more music, because I want to hear more stuff.
Yes. You got it. I am working on it, actually. So yes, it is coming. I'm just working on it.
Thank you. We'll talk to you again sometime soon, okay?
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.